Cheers. Cheers. Well, it's that time again. I'm Annie.
Hey, Annie, I'm Susan.
What's up, Susan?
Oh, hey. Have you heard of this podcast?
What's it called?
Two friends.
One chat?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I have. It's crazy. I think that might be us.
Oh,
Dun,
dude.
dun, dun.
Ah.
We're children. We are absolute children.
Children using our imagination.
Oh, that was good. That's good. Susan, what comes to mind when I say imagination?
Da.
Yeah, it's kind of What was the reaction I anticipated?
I want to love the idea of imagination. Core wound.
Okay.
Child, Susan says.
No, thank you.
There's no, rules around that, so that's scary. Because I don't know how to do that right. Do you know what I mean?
Wow, I have never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say it. Core Wound Annie
Yeah.
used imagination as, a disassociation.
Yeah.
And so I love it. It was
Yeah.
one of my primary
your safe
coping
space.
skills. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No one could tell me what to do. I could be and do whatever. As soon as I got to go to bed, I was a completely different person living these magical lives. It was like playing my own movies. I got to pick who, and I'm always an action star. Always an action star.
How interesting that the same thing, imagination, is your safe space
Yeah.
as a child and an absolute nightmare for me. Because my worth depended on other people's approval. So what was the point of imagination?
Yeah, wow.
Do you know what I mean? Because that...
You never, imagined people thinking you were just the bee's knees?
God, no.
Really?
No.
Wow.
No.
Interesting.
In fact, I just imagined people hating me. And then would work...
Oh, shit.
Work to
Just turn that off. Shut that. Get that out. Get it out.
No, to please that person, even though they probably never even hated me to begin with.
Oh,
I have
God.
a sad little mind.
Oh, God.
So my imagination, I did have it. It was just not good. It was sad.
It's so interesting. Man, I'm almost I'm going to have to do more of a clinical dive because we...
That was not the intent. We were trying to get you a nice little happy episode, everybody.
Well, but it's good because, if we're having such polarized reactions to it, we're not alone. Right?
No, exactly.
And so
exactly.
It's good for listeners to hear both sides because I'm going to talk about it because I'm kind of the primary leader on this episode because I think imagination is the bee's knees. I think imagination can bleed into real life. And there's some brain science behind that, so we need to talk about that. So, which makes me think even more.
So you, enjoyed dreaming as a kid?
Loved it.
See, I had night terrors.
Oh, sweet peanut. Yeah.
I never had nice dreams.
I definitely had some super scary dreams.
Okay.
But I was told at a really young age that I could control my dreams.
Ooh.
And that it was okay to know that you were dreaming.
Okay.
And it was presented to me weirdly in a religious context, that, God's given you power over your dreams.
Oh.
And so I grew up believing that I had power over my dreams. And I'm not cool enough to be a lucid dreamer or anything like that. But I
have a friend that is. She can
it's my
legit
goal.
Control her dreams.
I can barely sometimes. And it's so cool. It's so cool.
Wow.
But I'm not cool enough. I've had a couple where I've been able to do the thing where you're fly. You can fly.
Yeah. That's what my other friend does.
It's happened to me 2 times in my life. It's rad. Coolest thing ever. You wake up and you're just that was awesome. I also have awesome dreams.
Yeah.
Most of my dreams I think are pretty awesome, and if they get too scary, I just tell myself, this is too scary in the dream.
And you get out.
And I can just,
That's amazing.
So that, I think, and I don't know, this is a good connection question. I think a lot of these will be questions because I'm only going to talk about what I clinically know, but
sure.
I'm wondering if there's a connection between dreams and imagination, right? Like,
ooh, I would think so, but
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And some people can't even ever remember their dreams.
Right.
Like, never, which is, I feel honestly bad for those people because I just think they're the bee's knees.
Oh, no, I wish.
Oh, that you could never remember?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I think the reality is the majority of us don't remember the majority of our dreams.
Yeah, I think that's
I think science has already proven we are all dreaming every night, right?
Yeah.
That's our brain's way of processing information that has come in and deciding, where it needs to be stored and all of that fun brain stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we're all dreaming. So if you think you don't dream, that's a lie. You do dream. You just don't remember your dreams.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, brain activity is totally happening when you're dreaming. Yeah.
I mean, just stare at your little puppies
when they're my babies.
Oh, when my dogs are, and they get the and they do the
Oh my god, it's so cute.
And their little paws start going.
Oh yeah,
right?
They're chasing it. They got it.
They're so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
We don't deserve dogs.
Dog dreams are the cutest.
I love dogs so much.
But look, I mean that just proves to you where people dream.
Absolutely.
Because dogs are people, so.
You know what might be an interesting practice, and it's more kind of an experiment.
Okay.
Because here's what we know about imagination, is your body can't tell the difference in reaction. Right? So when you're thinking about all these people not liking you, your body is feeling like you're not being liked, even though it may not be real, you're making it up in your head. But the inverse is also true, and this is where it was a huge strength for me. I would imagine being able to control my circumstances. I would imagine being able to do these like awesome heroic feats of whatever. And so my body was feeling that. And so I am wondering, and this is a sheer wonder, if your awake brain starts thinking, and we're going to do another episode on this, kind of the contemplation of, could there be something beautiful here?
Right.
If you start imagining the best case scenarios and like just imagining, thinking like, how awesome would it be if this and this and this and I was able, and the tricky part is you can't imagine other people doing amazing things for you because we can't control other people.
Right.
But you start imagining like a world where you're able to, get people on your team, that you are this hero, this dynamic, like you start imagining, because those are the outcomes I always wanted for myself. And usually I was like Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Oh man, I loved that movie. And wanted to be that like undercover hero, secret, and so like I am wondering if that will help the chemicals in your brain and your body start to react as though that's your reality. And here's the thing, this is all, listeners, slightly hearsay.
Sure.
I have no articles to back this up. The only articles I have to back up is that we know that what we imagine happening, and this is why mindfulness practices are so important.
Yes.
What you are imagining happening, your body will feel and respond.
It feels that, exactly.
Yeah. Your mind can't, your mind and body can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
So like, if you're I use this tool all the time. If you're going into a stressful meeting, there's a couple go-tos I have or a couple memories I have that I go to. One of them is I have had the immense privilege to snorkel in Hawaii, and it just right outside. We weren't on a trip or anything. They were just sea turtles.
Oh.
And I remember the first time I saw them in my little goggles, and I'm a crier.
Yeah.
We established it.
I'm crying.
And I just start crying because it's so magical. And there's a couple things that when I think about it, I can still have chills, and it still brings me right back to that point.
So you imagine yourself
just I remember that
back there.
Yeah.
To like calm yourself to prep for
big
that
meetings.
Next big thing.
And like,
so you truly are using imagination not just to have fun, but as a tool.
It is a huge tool in my tool belt.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like it is, I would say it's one of my primary tools. Like, I gotta tell all the listeners, because I want to talk about what I experience before I walk into meetings.
Okay.
So, It's warm, first of all. The water is warm, which is crazy, you guys. There's parts of the ocean. I grew up in Oregon. There are parts of the ocean that are warm.
What?
And it's quiet because your head's underwater, right?
Yeah.
Like, just your goggles. And so I am pretty sensitive to unpredictable noises. I do not like it.
Okay.
It's a pretty fast way to dysregulate me.
Yeah.
And I've learned that as an adult. So snorkeling is super cool because it's quiet. And so it's completely quiet. It's this beautiful color blue. And then you're surrounded by this weird silence of life around you. And then a huge fucking sea turtle. And sea turtles are the coolest. They just vibe out. And they poke up their little heads occasionally for some air. And they're slow and huge. And at first, you're also kind of like, why are you so big? I'm scared of you for a second. And then you watch it and you're like, you're awesome. And they're old. They've been around forever.
I love it.
Man, I get peaceful just thinking about it. And I will go back to that memory.
Yeah.
And that imagination, that ability, my body and mind can't tell the difference if I'm living in that moment that I'm about to walk into the world's most stressful meeting.
But it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like even as a child, you didn't even have to have the memory
Correct.
to reimagine or remember.
Yeah.
You could just create
scenarios.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That were nice.
Great. They were so fun. I was always an independent action star of some level.
I have literally no frame of reference for this.
This is so crazy. Really, none?
It's throwing me.
Every night I would look forward to bed because that was the time I had agency. And I loved it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And there would be several different scenarios I would, and in my hormonal times, there's definitely
Yeah, oh yeah. We get it.
I had a crush.
Wink, nod. We got you.
Everybody. But they weren't just these grotesque sex scenes.
Oh.
They were whole storylines of these adventures and romance and definitely Indiana Jones had a huge playing in that. Yeah. Only I was Indiana Jones.
Oh my
I
God,
wanted to be the
so
discovery person. Yeah. And I would just live in those moments. And to me, I think I'm pretty passionate about imagination because we know that it can affect our real life so well.
Yeah.
So in my world, it affected it positively. It's interesting to hear because I think your imagination affected it negatively.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm even thinking even as a child doing imagination and playing, it still was always real things. We're gonna play teacher and we're gonna play house, right?
You never played
anything? Puppy kitty. That makes no sense to me. Whoa. I'm not a cat.
My friend and I played horse and cheetah. I was the cheetah.
Okay. Obviously.
Wow.
That's just so interesting to me. So even within my imagination, it was very rules and borders and based in reality. Because I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
With mindfulness, right? I don't like it because my brain goes to very intense traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
And then it throws me way off. It is not helpful to me at all.
Yeah.
At least right now. But thinking back as a kid, even with imagination and dreaming, that felt unsafe and scary.
Interesting.
And I had not thought about this before.
I have never.
I mean, this is all kind of new, and I'm processing with you and listeners all at the same time.
The same.
It's just, wow, it's throwing me a little bit.
I think I love talking about this for a couple of reasons. One is I had never, ever contemplated the other side.
Yeah.
Of having this being a fearful moment for people. So it's really helpful to get that reflective piece because to me I'm dude, imagination all day, all night. If I could just create for the rest of my life, that's all I would do. And I stand by that.
Yeah.
But I'm also so much more comfortable in that world than I think reality is probably where I'm most uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And have to access my coping skills and stuff like that. So, it's really, I've never even considered thinking about imagination this way.
And I think that's why I don't tend to enjoy or be as creative as you.
Interesting.
Again, because I think imagination and creativity are,
oh yeah,
man, hand in hand. Right?
Yeah.
You have to have both, and I think that is why I don't have all the hobbies and like being creative and trying all these new things like you like, because it is scary. Yeah. It doesn't feel fun. It feels like
scary.
It's scary because there are too many opportunities to not get this right.
Wow.
Because there's no rules or boundaries in imagination and creation.
Wow. Okay, I want to pin that for 1 second because it's interesting because I do see you as a remarkably creative person.
Really?
I mean, think of the form that you created that is now changing the game in the field that you work in. That's you. That's creativity. Creativity with boundaries isn't not creativity.
Interesting.
So I think you self-define yourself as not creative, but working with you as a creative partner, I see more the opposite side.
Oh.
So that would be my first thought. But my other thought would be, I think this is great to explore this idea of like creativity without, like, could be scary because it does require kind of outside of the box thinking, but I see you do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and it was. Creating that document was terrifying and it was scary.
Okay.
But it was something that I felt needed to be done. It was filling a need for other people.
Oh, that's your sweet spot. Because
I don't need that document.
Yeah, that's your sweet spot, too.
I have not been diagnosed with ALS, so I don't need that document.
Yeah.
But I saw the need for other people, and it was like, well, someone's got to create this.
Yeah.
You're right, but you are totally right that it was creative.
Absolutely.
And it did take imagination to think of that when it was, so I can use it for when it's for someone else.
Interesting. I would love to see you apply your imagination to yourself.
To myself. Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah, I love it.
We got time.
Yeah. Well, and it'll be such a fun journey, too, because, again, you're not the only person experiencing this.
Yeah, exactly.
I know people are listening that are probably like, oh, no, I'm Team Susan, hardcore.
Yeah, okay.
And, there are other people listening and be like, creativity can be scary.
Terrifying.
All my creative types out there. I love that. And I am sure it's funny because, like, I could totally see the more we're talking about it, how, like, almost frustrating and off-putting it could be to work with someone like me who, like, just doesn't see that. I get that there are social boundaries. Like, I'm very aware of bureaucracy in my job. Like,
No, but, like, the sky's the limit with you.
Absolutely.
And for someone that's scared...
Yeah.
Of that sort of like imagining sky's the limit. Yeah, it can be.
I'm sure it can be super
scary.
Irritating.
I wouldn't even say irritating.
Okay.
It can be like intimidating, a little nerve-wracking, increases anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. It's so helpful to know too, because that is going to help give me better skills to translate visions of like where we can take things.
Yeah.
So I love these conversations because, one, how often do you sit with your adult friends and talk about imagination?
You don't.
Like, I think...
we should. We all should more.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
But I think some people would be like, I think that's, like, even if they do it, they're like, I think it's weird that she plays out scenarios in her head that she likes before bed. That's weird. Like, I feel like there's, like, you know what I mean? Like,
there's a group that's, yeah.
I don't do that. I do my skincare routine.
That's childish. Right?
Weird.
Imagination is childish.
It's the best thing.
But we all need it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes I won't even listen to podcasts because I just want to imagine myself to bed. That's not even a lie. Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. It's great up there. And it does bleed. I think the more, because I will say this, I did that forever as a kid.
Yeah.
And then weird forced independence. I had to figure this world out. I've got disorganized attachment. I'm kind of all over the place. God bless me.
You're everywhere.
So a lot of that went away unless I was disassociating, which is the unhealthy end of imagination.
Yes.
Just like everything, there's a balance to it. And then I became like more of a stable adult, and I can tell like if I'm doing like really well, because like I'll only access that imagination fun bedtime stuff if I don't have things I'm worrying about in the moment pretty hard, because that'll take that space up.
Yeah.
So I can see it being like it's one of those mental health measures.
Yeah.
That it's a really positive one. Like, and so I really, imagination to me is such a wonderful gift, and I see it the more I'm creative in my real life, right? Like in this life, and I'm getting those like artistic expenditures. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. The artistic expressions, we'll say.
There you go.
Or like outputs.
Yes.
So I'm really outputting material that I've created.
Yes.
I get so much joy out of that. As I'm doing that, I can also see like my fun imagination brain lighting up again at night. And so to me, it's like a direct
very
tie
much connected.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Do I have the brain space to relax? Like if I'm really, really stressed out, it's not going to happen. I'm going to listen to those good podcasts. I'm going to try to engage in those that will help my mind, take a hot bath, do my things to get some good sleep. So for me, it's a positive mental health measure.
So I wonder for people more like in my camp of it's scary, like you said, when it's kind of maybe a baseline night, instead of, I mean, like putting some boundaries around it might be helpful, right?
Yes.
Like writing down one good thing you would want to happen, right? Which is technically imagining, right? I'm imagining that this
a good outcome
thing is going to happen at work this week or whatever it is. But I wonder if putting kind of smaller baby stepping boundaries around imagination for people like me wouldn't help you get to that more kind of legit freedom that you have with imagination.
I love this idea too. Like, what if you imagined, like, say you have a coworker that drives you bananas, which there's no way people can't identify with that.
Everyone's got one.
Everyone's got
currently
one.
In their past. I mean, it happens.
What if you imagined not losing your cool?
Right.
You just imagined yourself being like, okay. You know, like having that capacity, I promise you that will bleed into your real life. I promise. Like, if you imagine a world, you know, like we've seen this done. I think Oprah coined dream boards, right? Am I wrong? Or
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if she coined it, but she made a big deal out of it. And dream boards are real because if you can imagine it, like it's gonna happen because that's how our brains work.
Yeah.
Like if it's in the forefront of your mind, I was exploring this idea of humanity's ability. I think it was an article I read, to be similar to the goldfish in that when we focus on an issue or an idea, it's in the forefront, shapes what we're doing, it shapes how we act. And biologically, we can just as quickly file that away and it gets no more action.
Okay.
So like, you know, like sometimes people can be really focused about the environment. They care about recycling, and then a life circumstance happens, then they just don't do it anymore. So there's this interesting thing about humanity where we can kind of shuffle things around, which is why dream boards and intention have so much weight, because if we're keeping that in the forefront, we're going to do it. Like, so imagination has a really powerful way of building around that from my perspective. And there's science to back it up. I'm not like bullshitting.
No. I totally agree.
Yeah.
But knowing, I think that, I just feel like giving myself and people like me permission to baby step into that.
I love
Not like think of one good thing that you want to happen relatively soon, right? Instead of a dream board. Sounds terrifying to me that I have to create.
Oh my God.
Scenarios for my life and then possibly not it just seems like a board of ways to fail.
Oh wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never thought about
the anxious person in me.
Yeah.
So not all the time, but I could see myself being like, well, I didn't do that, and how long do I have to get that dream board done? And that anxious piece. So, but baby stepping into it, I could see myself getting there.
I love that. I think too. I love hearing your perspective on stuff because it's just so different from mine. But I make a dream board, and this probably has more to do with like kind of just being the youngest, and like really, there are a lot of ways I'm a type A person. Actually, kind of a shockingly large amount. But in most ways, no. And so when I make a dream board, I have forever to complete that. Ever. Like, there's no time stamp.
Yeah, there's no rules around it.
Just 0 rules.
That's scary.
That's so wild. I want to make you do a dream board so bad. I know that's not loving, so we're not going to do that.
There's a reason
This is such... You know, it's really interesting. I think most of our podcast times...
Yeah.
I'm like, God, we're so alike.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to find things we're so
when
jarringly
we're so
like,
different on. Yeah,
literally two ends of a spectrum. Like...
Yeah.
Which I hope is helpful for listeners to hear that, like, there's just ways to exist on both, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I would say people like myself, because I think Erin is way less imagination oriented.
Yeah. Oh, agreed.
And this might be one of the strengths in our relationship is like, you got me. I'm out here just imagining shit. Still very like task oriented,
of course,
right?
Of course,
like,
yeah.
You know, and then sometimes it's helpful to have someone like Erin who's like.
Okay, but also
Yeah, like, what's your retirement look like, though? Like,
right.
bring that to Earth. There's Earth here. Let's build, like, savings, you know?
Oh!
Like, yeah. So it's things like that I, like, can see there being lots of strengths in other people.
Of course.
But in the flip side, I, like, encourage any dream Erin has. You know what I mean? I'm like, you want to redo that car? Good. Not only are you going to do that, but I'm going to make sure you have time in your schedule to do that. Because you need to have fun. Like,
yes.
It is important.
Oh.
I know. And you kind of got to force him to do it, too.
You do. Well, yeah.
And he's doing a great job.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I can see, like, I can even see in our relationship, the two ends of the spectrum really helping each other, right?
Yeah.
I'll get you more into imagination.
I probably drive you nuts not having a dream.
No, you don't at all. You've never drove me nuts in my life.
Okay.
If anything, I just took advantage of it, and I was like, will you please do a podcast with me? And you're like, okay. I didn't even have to, like, tack you into it.
No.
I was like, hey, you want to do this journey with me? I don't know if I'm going to like it, but we should try it.
Yeah.
And you're like,
well, because I've known you long enough to know this could go somewhere, it could not.
Yeah. And, you know,
we ride the Annie train, we see where it stops.
Choo-choo.
But it was yours, I think, in the beginning. That's how I, like, rationalized it.
I love that.
This is Annie's new thing.
She's
so, like,
out.
I don't have no skin in the game.
Yep.
Just supporting my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got skin in the game. This took off, so.
I mean, and I love it. It's so fun because I have tried other projects and, you know, I've tried other, like, artistic outlets, and I do love, you know me. There's paintings I've done all over the house. Like, I just, again, could create things for the rest of my life and be thrilled with it. But there's something so special about this podcast to me. Because I didn't think I would love it as much. I freaking love it. I didn't know I'd learn as much about myself and how I react and act with other people.
That was a big surprise to me, too.
Huge.
Yeah.
And I'm growing. It's so cool to grow.
And you keep continuing to imagine where we can go.
I love it.
Which I don't have. Right? You come up with this, this is the next level, and I'm like, okay. All right. How do we get that done? What do we need to do? Let me write it down.
I love that so much. And I do think it takes, like, both.
Of course.
You know, like,
of course.
And so I don't know. I think I was really excited to talk about imagination. I didn't expect it to get as deep
as it did.
And we're going to have to do more episodes.
Sure.
We're going to have to do conclusions because I think you and I are both now on this, like, journey with each other of, like, trying to, like, you know?
Yeah. And I do see, that's one of the things I love about you is your imagination, and I envy it on some level. So I do because sometimes there's things people have that I'm like, that's great, that's not for me, I don't even want to try to pursue that.
Yeah.
But I could see this in a much smaller version. Imagination being a good thing for me.
Well, and I think you kind of nailed it when you were saying you do have an imagination, but it's not been positive.
But using it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, using it in a positive way. Yeah.
And I don't know the statistics on this, but I would say most people have an imagination, right?
Yeah. Oh, you would have, everyone does.
Everyone does. I think it's sort of part of consciousness.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed.
So I love this idea of finding a way, because, again, you can't be alone. That there are people that imagination isn't a positive thing.
Yeah.
But if it's a part of life, how do we take that and make it a positive thing?
Right.
Because it gonna be there. Like, we can't splice away from it. So
exactly.
So such an interesting perspective set to realize that it isn't a fun place for everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, and in a lot of ways too.
But I can work on making it fun.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find ways. We can explore it. Like, we can and we'll do continuation episodes. And again, if you have a story about imagination.
Ooh, yes.
Even if it's weird.
Yeah.
I want to hear it because I think I thought this would be, again, a fun, light episode, blah, blah, blah. We'll do a mindfulness exercise and blah, blah, blah. But I think what we're really discovering is that there is quite a large spectrum.
Just like everything else.
Just like everything else. And since we know it's a part of consciousness, I think it turns us more into finding tools and tips to make it work for you.
Yeah, to finding where a more comfortable spot on that spectrum is for you.
Yeah.
Am I ever going to be at your end? No. That's never going to happen.
That's just
But I
me,
love
though.
the idea of moving a little more towards the center.
Yeah.
Because like you said, imagination is part of us, right? So if it's going to happen... What a cool thought that I could use it for good instead of bad.
That's what I'm thinking.
At some point, wow.
And trust me, the world does not need too many anti-creative types in it, right? That would be too much.
Yeah, but just to not let it be a negative.
Yes.
Right.
Since it's a part of your life, let's make it work for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just like everything else. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Which will be fun. I think we'll do maybe in like even season 3 or maybe the end of this season, talk about tips and tools to make your imagination work for you.
Okay.
Since we know it affects your body.
Yeah.
Right? And interestingly enough, I've learned working with you that not everybody can just jump into a mindfulness.
Right.
Right. And literally the research says that's not helpful for everybody.
No.
Like, this is not, you are not alone. Like, there are a bunch of people that are like,
you are not alone.
Wait, is that?
I am here with you.
Isn't that Michael J?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the you are not alone. You truly aren't alone, though.
Yeah.
Which is
it's
really,
true.
really important.
It's true.
So, how do we take something that's inevitable and make it work for us?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
This did not go where I thought it was going to
go. Same.
But I loved it.
I absolutely loved it.
I loved it.
Oh my gosh. And it sets us up even for season 3, which I'm so excited for. You guys, I love doing this podcast.
Yeah. You're stuck with us.
Yeah.
So you might as well share us around.
Yeah. Love that. Ooh, tell them where to share it.
You can share, well, I mean, what do you mean? I mean, you would just share it by telling people. And so...
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
But to interact with us...
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes. Yeah. So you can email us at twofriends.onechat@gmail.com.
Boom.
Yes. You could visit our website at www. I hate that part. Just of the internet in general, not of our particular...
It's like the most boring part. I mean, you definitely don't even have to type that in.
twofriends1chat.com. If you want to visit our website, interact there. We're on social media, Instagram and Facebook. So I'm trying to get that going. I'm working at it. It's good. It's
crushing it.
So you can interact with us on there. And just, do it. We want to hear from you.
Oh,
we want you to be a part of the team with us. Share what you want us to talk about, because we want to talk about it. If you hate something, if you love something. I like constructive criticism.
I love it.
Honest, constructive criticism, not just be mean.
Yeah, go nuts. I mean, you can be as mean as you want.
Oh, or not, or don't.
Hey, if you need to dump, we're on your very far out system.
That's true.
Okay, don't worry. We can handle it.
We got this.
Maybe. I'm a crier.
Do you know what I'm going to do, Annie? I am going to imagine...
I love this.
...that 2 listeners interact with us in the next 2 months.
I love that. I love that. You know what I'm going to imagine?
What?
The Patreon up in 2 months. And how awesome it is and how well it works. Which means I got some learning to do. but then it'll be in the forefront, right? If I'm imagining it,
That's
it's in my
what I'm
forefront.
saying.
So if I'm thinking about it, I'm going to like get excited about it. I'm going to get in there. Like, it's going to be great.
Oh,
It's
tell
really
us what you're
powerful.
imagining.
Yeah.
Yeah, share that with us.
Yes, and any cool stories about like imagination
Lucid
and
dreaming.
I love dream stories.
Do it.
Do it. And again, thank you for listening and for joining us on a journey I didn't think would take this turn,
Yeah,
but I'm excited.
thank you.
I'm so excited because I'm super passionate about imagination, clearly.
Yeah, you very much are.
Yeah,
and I
think
love
it's
that.
such a goddamn gift.
I love that.
So it'll be great. We'll cover that in the future. We'll go over it more and join us in 2 weeks. We can't wait to hear you or can't wait for you
to hear us.
Feels so weird.
Just a little gift for your ear
Yeah.
and your brain.
You're welcome.
Like a gift that we give you that starts in your ear and goes into your brain and
I
then
love
down
it.
to your heart.
Oh, your heart.
It's a little bug, but a good bug.
A good bug, yeah, like a really good one. Not like the little Matrix lobsters that like they put in your. Where did they? Oh, your belly button, right? Yeah, remember that?
No.
What? Have you not seen the Matrix?
You've showed me the Matrix. I don't know how
that's
much
right.
attention I paid to it.
I did make Susan watch the Matrix, and it got her like ridiculous sunglasses and made her sit and live.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
The
made you watch it.
sunglasses.
Yeah, I don't think that sobriety was in the
No.
forefront of that activity, so I
No.
do not blame you for remembering most of nothing.
Okay.
It's such a pivotal movie, though.
Do you know what else I'm imagining? A whiskey diet.
Is that time?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to take Susan to Fremont Street. We're going to go out and stay out till like 6 p.m.
What? That actually sounds perfect, though. I would love to be home by 6.
You guys, getting old is the greatest thing in the universe.
So I can hydrate, have a well-balanced dinner,
love it.
and get my rest.
Get comfortable. Isn't that mattress in there like the best?
All right.
It's time for me to hang out with Susan on an unpodcast related basis.
Yay! I
And-
mean, I love doing the podcast.
I love it.
But I think, just like we tell you guys, right, it's about balance.
It is about
So we've been
balance.
working really hard, and now it's
Yeah.
time to have some fun.
We've been recording for almost 6 hours straight.
Shut up.
Yeah, so it's time for us to cut loose and just vibe out.
Woo!
You guys, I can't thank you enough for listening. Share it out, and we are here to share skills with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Enjoy your day or night.
Yeah, whatever time.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.